we're just gonna jump into this. We're on this topic, so we're just gonna jump into it. Let's see what Rev said. Let's look at Rev's thing about about the uh uh the pandering with the new Fantastic Four movie. We might as well just fucking jump into this. Where that apparently you're gonna focus on fucking gender politics. So we're stuck on this. We are stuck on this topic. So fuck it. We might as well just jump into it whole hog. Why not? Let's fucking go. So Rev, crush my soul a little bit more, please.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rev here. So I think it's no secret at this point, Marvel needs a win desperately. It's been a very rough start to 2025, coming off of 2 financial disappointments with Captain America Brave New World, as well as their recent Daredevil series.
Eric, okay, Eric, I will tell you in a variables you do not know. No, Eric, he is a guy. He's perfectly happy being a guy. He just thinks that the VTuber model is cute, and that's why he uses it. That is legit the only reason. He's flat out said this. He just thinks that the VTuber model is cute. That's why he uses it. He's not a femboy. He's not trans, anything like that. He just likes the model. It's literally just as simple as that.
Both financial disappointments, and they're trying to rebound with 2 big projects.
Okay, Atsunashi, have fun with DD.
First being Thunderbolts releasing soon, and then in July, they are releasing the much anticipated Fantastic Four First Steps. Now, of course, this is another stab at this franchise on the...
Yeah, okay, here we go. Now, granted, the OG Fantastic Four, here's what I was talking about the thing. The OG Fantastic Four, the thing wasn't exactly a towering mass of rock and muscle item. But also, this was 2003 when the CGI was not great. And thank you, Ammo. But yeah, this was all practical. I don't think any of this was CG. I think this might have been an all practical costume. And so that's why he's Michael Chiklis height. But look at the 2015. Regardless of how bad the 2015 movie was, okay, the 2015 Fan 4 stick was bad. No question. But look at the size of the thing compared to the others. He's fucking huge. This is a more appropriate height for the thing. And thank you again, Ammo. They actually got appropriate height for the thing. I would have said he might have been a little bit taller, but this is better. And then look at 2025. He's smaller than Sue fucking Storm. He looks like he is smaller than Sue Storm. Now again, this could be camera angle. It could be. It's entirely possible this is camera angle. And that could be throwing things off. But he's damn sure not this tall. This thing is not as big as this one. I guarantee you that.
The big screen, and there's a lot of changes coming that
it's
we'll be going over
2025
in
one
just a
is
moment.
supposed to look retro.
But Marvel is really
here we go.
This will turn things around. You have actors from this set saying 2025 Fantastic Four actor says movie will go down in history by rejuvenating the MCU.
Oh, somebody do Joker laugh. That is a Joker laugh for the moment. The Fantastic Four is going to rejuvenate the MCU. Oh, this guy is huffing the fucking copium right now. Absolutely fucking huffing the copium. Oh my god.
That is a very bold claim, because at this point, it's hard to imagine anything that can turn this around. because everything has been a financial disappointment over and over again. But unfortunately, Marvel is not learning their lesson. They're not seeing what's going on with these financial disappointments and seeing what fans didn't like, and they're repeating these mistakes over and over again. And
Oh,
unfortunately,
I'm already seeing fucking cope with this author down below. The MCU's aspiring quality and box office revenue have been a tad overblown, with successes like Black Panther and Guardians of the Galaxy. So, yes, Guardians of the Galaxy was modestly successful. It was not a runaway hit. It was modestly successful. Black Panther, to my understanding, was not actually all that successful. I don't know if it lost money, but I don't believe Wakanda Forever was considered a success. So already this Pierre Chenlieu is huffing copium already.
they're doing it with Fantastic Four first steps. So we already know there's going to be some very odd changes coming. It's already been confirmed long ago that Silver Surfer will, for some
Yep.
reason, be gender swapped in this new film. On top of that, looking at the cast, which honestly, you look at them on their face and you think, wow, the four main players here, they seem like they're pretty well cast. However, as you start peeling
No, I'm disagreeing with that. I'm disagreeing with that. Pedro Pascal does not look like Reed Richards. I'm sorry, no, he does not. Pedro, even if you shaved his mustache, okay, I could maybe see it. Why didn't they shave his fucking mustache? Like, like honestly, looking at this shot of him, take away the mustache. You could see Ray Richards without this mustache. But of course, he had to keep the fucking mustache. And the mustache basically ruins the look of Reed Richards. For Johnny, like I said, he looked like the actor who played Johnny Storm. I'm sorry, he does not look good enough to be Johnny Storm. Or sorry, down here, this one. He does he doesn't look good enough to be Johnny Storm. Like again, when we saw the trailer, he looked like he was trying to cosplay as Eminem, not John Storm. It is I don't know. Eh, and like for the actress that plays Sue, I don't know. It's she just I like the look of her just isn't quite right. It's not something with Sue. It's not something that I can put my finger on. Something's just not quite right with the actress that plays Sue Storm. Now with Ben Grimm, in his rock form, honestly, his rock form, when they show the rock form, the rock form is not bad, but he's not big enough. That's the biggest complaint I have with Ben Grimm is in his rock form, he is not large enough. They made him too small. Wait, wait, hold up. It was? Okay, Durahan, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere, okay?
peeling back the layers and you look at the type of people playing these roles, some of their beliefs, their activism, and most importantly, how they view their role in this film, the red flags start to pop up very quickly. So let's begin with this headline right here that really speaks for itself. Vanessa
Oh
Kirby confirms
God.
Fantastic Four First Steps explores
Well, believer, Ben Grimm in human form, no, but I'm talking about in thing form. I'm talking about when he was the thing. As the thing, he is like 7, 8 feet tall. And that's what I'm referencing to in terms of size. Not Ben Grimm the person, but the thing. That's where I'm talking about.
gender politics with Sue Storm. Marvel will never learn,
Rev.
ladies and gentlemen. They'll never learn. until they're bankrupt at this point. People don't want to hear this. This is not appealing whatsoever, and it raises
Oh, because of course,
instant
Emperor,
red
of course.
flags. Now, personally, I think Vanessa Kirby was a very good choice to play Sue Storm in this film. She can definitely act. However, will this sort of approach to the character
Not based on what we saw from that
His thing is
trailer.
too small.
Oh, stop it. Based on what we saw in this trailer, maybe it has nothing to do with Vanessa Kirby's acting ability and it was her direction, but I was not impressed with the acting in the trailer from Vanessa Kirby. Like this scene in particular where she simply looks bored as opposed to being stressed. But again, that could be the direction she was given, not her actual acting ability.
affect her performance, and will it rub people the wrong way? Well, chances are it probably will. But let's see the quote that they're referring to here. It's from Entertainment
There we
Weekly.
go.
So the section is titled "The Old and the New." So it says, achieving global political peace sounds only slightly harder than synthesizing the decades-long fictional history of Sue Storm as Marvel's first female superhero. She has been a part of the Fantastic Four since its first issue, but back then, she carried the relatively demeaning code name of Invisible Girl. Oh, God. They're trying to make it like a dog whistle, aren't they? Anyways, it continues, could only turn herself invisible and mostly functioned as a damsel in distress. In quotes here, if you played an exact 60s Sue today, everyone would think she is a bit of a doormat, Vanessa Kirby.
No one is expecting a modern day Fantastic Four to be a 60s version of Sue Storm. Absolutely fucking no one was asking for that. No one. What people were wanting, if you were going to reference the comics, is people were looking for, like, the late 90s Sue Storm, where she could not only turn invisible, she had the invisible shield, she could basically do invisible force projection. That is what literally everyone wanted for the characterization of Sue Storm in the movies. Absolutely no one was asking for the 1960s version of Sue. No one. Absolutely no one.
He says, so figuring out how to capture the essence of what she represented to each generation where the gender politics were different and embody that today was one of the greatest joys of this. Again, fine actress. I think they made a good call casting her, but this approach is going to rub.
Okay. This does not make it. Thank you, Durahan. This is not as bad as the title makes it say. Saying that, the statement, figuring out how to capture the essence of what you represented to each generation and where the gender politics were different and embody that today. Now, okay, if she's trying to say, like, I'm actually twisting my brain on this one. Like, is she trying to say that she was trying to take the different iterations of Sue Storm since her inception and create a conglomerate of it for this role? Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if this is just a bunch of word vomit. Like, why would you want to try and capture the essence of what she represented to each generation with the different gender politics? That sounds like fucking word vomit. That actually sounds like she's trying to literally please every generation that knew about Sue Storm. From the 60s to now. And we'll see, because like this isn't this isn't as bad as what I was concerned about, but this is still a bunch of just bullshit. This is literally a non sequitur. It means absolutely nothing. This is her basically trying to do like the I am all of the Sue. That's kind of how this reads. Is she saying like, I am all the Sues? It makes no fucking
Rub a
sense.
lot of people the wrong way. We do not want to see this stuff. We don't want to be talking about gender politics in an MCU film. I think anyone with a brain knows that is a bad formula right there. But it gets worse. As we keep going through the casting here, we're seeing more radical changes to all these characters. You can see here, Joseph Quinn addresses how his
Oh
portrayal of Human
no.
Torch will differ from Chris Evans' version. Oh, yes. He's going to change something that's
Oh
been working
fuck.
well for decades. That'll really pay off, I'm sure. Again, from entertainment.
Hold on. Let's read this again. He was branded as this womanizing devil may care guy, but is that sexy these days? I don't think so. This version of Johnny is less callous with other people's feelings. Yeah, I can think of another very popular fictional character that they did this exact same thing to not long ago, and people kind of fucking hated it. James Bond, anyone? They did this to James Bond in the last one or two movies, I believe. And people were like, this is not James Bond. The whole concept of James fucking Bond is he's sexy, he's a womanizer, he still helps people, but that's what made him so awesome. And they took that all away. Now they're doing it to Johnny Storm. And Viola Scan, thank you for the follow. Like this is incredibly stupid. Like it worked. And by the way, this version of Johnny is less callous with other people's feelings. The fact that Johnny was a quote unquote womanizer and had a devil may care attitude didn't mean that he was callous with other people's feelings. I will point that out. This statement is Joseph Quinn basically one noting Johnny Storm. That if he was a quote womanizer and had a devil may care attitude, then he was an asshole and didn't give a fuck about anyone. When Johnny Storm did fucking care. He actually did care about other people's feelings. He was not an asshole. He was not counseling people. And being a womanizer meant he just loved women. It's not like he was like, it's not like he was using women. He wasn't doing that. He dated a lot, which apparently is classified as a womanizer. It's like, so what is this Johnny Storm going to be effeminate and care all about the feelings? Be like, how do you say? Oh, I don't mean to hurt your feelings right now. Yeah, and that's the keeping. The women, i.e., the female fans of the franchise, aren't complaining. No fan of this franchise ever complained about Johnny Storm's characterization. Not one that I can think of. The only ones that are complaining about Johnny Storm's old characterizations are the ones that don't even fucking care about the movie. They're the ones that are not going to be paying to go see this movie. They are going to read and scream from behind their Twitter accounts and say, he's a womanizer, he needs to be changed. But not one of them is going to spend a fucking dime on this movie when it comes to the theater. They're going to say, great, ruined another franchise, off to the next one. They don't care. They do not fucking care. And at some point, maybe Disney will take its head, maybe Disney will stop licking its own colon, pull its head out of its ass, and realize, oh yeah, I forgot, we're in this business to make fucking money.
For decades. That'll really pay off, I'm sure. Again, from Entertainment Weekly, Johnny is Marvel's archetype of a hothead teenager. But what exactly that means has been open to interpretation over the years. In 2005 and 2007 Fantastic Four movies, for instance, Chris Evans played the character as a skirt-chasing scallywag. What is this, like an
Really?
insult from the 1920s, skirt chasing scallywag? Anyway,
Well, I mean, the Fantastic Four movie does look like it takes place in the 1940s, so yeah, that actually kind of fits. If we're gonna look at it from that logic, that this Fantastic Four looks like it's 19, well, maybe 1960s. Maybe it's like 1960s. So Scallywag, maybe he's just embodying the 60s character. Maybe that's what he's doing, and that's why he called him a scallywag. He's just embodying 1960s Johnny Storm. Let's go with that, shall we?
anyways, Quinn wanted to do something different. He's a man that leads with a lot of bravado, which can be an affront sometimes, but he's also funny, Quinn says. Myself and Marvel Studios, Kevin, were speaking about previous iterations of him and where we are culturally. Oh, God. He was
Fuck
branded
me.
as this womanizing, devil-may-care guy, but is that sexy these days? I don't think so.
Yes. Yes. Simple fucking answer. A guy that loves beautiful women and has a devil may care attitude and is a hot guy himself, is that sexy? Yes! Yes, it is! Simple fucking answer, dude. And you got it wrong. Okay? People do not want effeminate, emotionally vulnerable superheroes as being their only fucking character trait. They want these male superheroes to be devil may care, handsome, strong, not afraid of their feelings, but doesn't get completely wrapped up in them. Like, it's not that fucking complicated. It really isn't. And yes, and again, he's classifying him as womanizing. And I'm sorry, but that is not a proper characterization. Johnny Storm loved beautiful women. Johnny Storm did date a lot. That's not a womanizer. Tony Stark was a womanizer. Tony Stark would basically fucked anything that had the proper biological equipment. And sometimes even if it didn't, I would say. That's a womanizer. A womanizer is a guy who basically beds everything with two tits, a hole, and a heartbeat. That's a womanizer. Johnny Storm liked beautiful women and liked dating beautiful women, and he dated frequently. That's not a womanizer. So, Quinn needs to check his fucking dictionary on what the definition of a womanizer is. 'Cause this ain't it, fam.
So, this version of Johnny is less callous with other people's feelings, and hopefully there's a self-awareness about it, about what's driving that attention-seeking behavior.
What?
Oh God, they just basically...
Wait! Sorry, Rev. I'm sorry, what? This guy's really going to try and classify the characterization of OG Johnny Storm as attention-seeking? Dude, pot meet fucking kettle. Okay? The attention seekers are the ones on fucking Twitter reeing and screaming at Disney to make what used to be kind of like a good male character on a fucking an effeminate bitch. Those are the attention seekers. Not fucking Johnny Storm. Kaibo, yeah, that was modern day comics. I don't fucking care about them. I wouldn't say he was a thrill seeker, Zad. I will agree he was a thrill seeker. That's that whole devil may care attitude. I wouldn't say it's attention seeking. That's not an accurate characterization of Johnny Storm. Having a devil may care attitude and being a thrill seeker is not attention seeking. Attention seeking is basically going around doing stuff and saying, hey, everybody, look at me. I want attention. He was doing shit because it gave him an adrenaline thrill. He was an adrenaline junkie, a thrill seeker. That's not for any attention except for his own. So this is completely mischaracterizing Johnny Storm as a character. But I mean, okay, so Zeb, the previous movie is not a great basis for comparison because, as has been mentioned, Hollywood has yet to be able to make a good Fantastic Four movie. Hollywood has yet to be able to get a proper story, proper characterization for the Fantastic Four. We are going off of comics. Okay, we are going off of the comics, not the previous movies. And that's what we're talking about, where, the devil may care, the thrill seeking, being like an adrenaline junkie, that's where we're going off of. Not, and even in like the first OG movie when Chris Evans played him, he was still like a thrill seeker. Yeah, he was chasing after women, but who fucking cares? He's a handsome guy. He liked women. It's not like he was like mistreating any of the women. The women, like especially as they characterized them in Fantastic Four, they were down. They were down for the booty call. Nothing wrong with it. You know?
Basically took everything people liked about Johnny and then just stripped it all away and basically made him a weak male feminist type. I mean, really, what else are we hearing
Yeah.
at this point? So, as the little brother, I guess he's now the weak one in this case, and he's going to be chastised for his toxic masculinity and all these
Probably.
attention-seeking behaviors that nobody would have had an issue with a few years ago, but all of a sudden now this is a toxic
No, they
character
don't,
that
Nick.
needs to be.
That's they have not read the comics. That is a key point. The way Disney has been having their writers operate for years now, they do not let them look at source material. They don't let them go over like the source material comics. They don't even let them go over the previous movies that came before it. Case point of note, the writers for Multiverse of Madness were not allowed to see the preceding WandaVision TV series that the entire fucking storyline for Multiverse of Madness was based upon. Okay, for those of you that never saw it, God bless you for one. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness basically picks up where the WandaVision TV show ended. Wanda has just concluded basically mind SAing an entire fucking town because Vision's dead. So to cope, she basically took over an entire town and mind SA'd them all, effectively speaking, and got away scot-free because what the fuck's her name? Oh fuck, that other fucking character they threw into it. Monica Rambeau. Yeah, because Monica Rambeau. No, because Monica Rambeau said they'll never know what you sacrificed for them after she just finished mind SAing them. Monica Rambeau goes, it's okay, they'll never know what you gave up for that before Wanda flies the fuck away. Because, Disney Marvel is perfectly fine and thinks that a mutant, well, she's not a mutant, she's not a mutant in the MCU, but Marvel Disney is apparently totally fine with a character taking over people's minds and turning them into literal slaves to play out her fucking fantasies with no repercussions, but because she feels bad, it's okay. And she should serve no punishment. Now, that was the preceding series. The whole thing about that is she literally created children for herself out of nothing. She literally created her own children out of nothing. And at the conclusion of it, she basically dispelled all of the magic that created this, and the children were gone. And that's how WandaVision ended. Multiverse of Madness picks up with Doctor Strange visiting Wanda, who still has not been punished, and Wanda basically flipping her fucking shit and going crazy because she wants her fictional children back again. And it made absolutely no fucking sense why she would basically go beast mode and just kill everything that moves to try and get her fictional children back using abilities that were never even hinted at previously. Because the writers of Multiverse of Madness were not allowed to look at WandaVision as reference. Okay, they were not allowed to use that series that was directly taken to make Multiverse of Madness. They were not allowed to reference it at all. They were not allowed to utilize it to try and make proper references. That's how Disney works. They will not allow they don't allow their writers to use the source material for reference because they want to be their own thing.
Be altered for who else but the modern audience. Yep, where we're at culturally.
Wait, might? Okay, I never saw Agatha All Along. They brought back Tommy and Billy in Agatha All Along? Did they seriously bring them back? Why? Why would they bring them back in Agatha All Along? That makes no fucking sense. That makes absolutely no goddamn sense whatsoever. Wanda is dead. Why would they bring back the kids who were fictional in the first place? Oh my fucking god, my brain hurts. Oh, this is hurting my brain. I'm going to okay. I'm going to stop thinking about this because it's hurting my brain, Al, and I want the hurting to stop. So I'm going to stop thinking about this and I'm just going to continue raging on this one.
For who else but the modern audience? Yep, where we're at culturally, will he fit in? And they say no, so they have to change this character to adapt to that. That is very sad. Now, going down the line here from that main 4 cast of characters here, we also got Pedro Pascal playing Reed Richards. And in case you guys don't know, Pedro Pascal, big activist. He will not stop talking about stuff. He's got major TDS, and he wants you to know about it. And of course, he's in this movie because he's in every movie. You basically see any sort of casting for a current movie. Pedro Pascal's got a role somewhere. I'm sure if you dug through your home movies at your house, you'd probably find him somewhere in those films because that's just the way it's been. He's in everything these days. But there's a lot of caution people take towards him because, well, stuff like this. Very recently, this headline was made, Pedro Pascal slammed after supporting Rachel Zegler amid Snow White backlash. That's right. Again, just like other examples we've talked about, it seems like
how did he support
projects, these movies, they just want to take all the most unlikable people and just ban them.
Okay, hold on. I do not know how he supported Rachel Zegler, so I am not going to slam Pedro Pascal for supporting Rachel Zegler, depending on how he supported her. Depending. Okay? If he just said something like, hey, she's an actor, she was doing the best she could with her work, doesn't commentate on her activism or anything like that, there's no issue there. So I want to know how he supported Rachel Zegler. No, it's I appreciate it's the same mindset that Pedro Pascal is an activist. But again, context matters. So that's why I want to know what supporting Rachel Zegler actually means. And what Rev might actually say so. And it could be as bad as we fear. I don't know.
Them all together. Just bring them all together, connect themselves to one another, and make bad PR. Because this is really bad PR, especially when this was only released about a week and a half ago amid the bombing of Snow White at the box office, which, as you can see, after all this time since its release,
I love it.
$170 million worldwide at the box office. Not even close to $100 million domestic, which is absolutely embarrassing. That's what happens when you crap all over a beloved.
This is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. This is Disney playing fuck around and find out. Hollywood praise Rachel Zegler, calling her an icon. Well, then, yes, he's an idiot, believer. If he called her an icon, okay, he's a fucking idiot. Although, unless he's calling her an icon for failure, in which case I'm on board. I am 100% on board if he's calling her an icon of failure. I'm there. I'm right there with you. But this is so beautiful. And the crazy thing is, this is Disney Snow White. This is Disney's tentpole franchise. This is the franchise that literally pulled Disney out of potential bankruptcy. Snow White had less domestic than international. International made up the majority of the worldwide box office, not domestic. And this is a Disney property. I fucking love this. Yes, Ambo, I've said that for a very long time. Rachel Zegler, as a singer, she is an excellent singer. I've said that. She is an excellent singer. I have no issues regarding her singing ability. And realistically, I haven't seen her anything, so I can't even commentate on her acting ability either. The problems I had was her activism in interviews before the movie and the decisions Disney made during the filming, i.e. the CGI fucking dwarves, removing the prince entirely from the whole fucking equation, the dwarves not being the one to end the wicked stepmother. Like, that's all on Disney. I'm not once said anything about Rachel Zegler being a bad actor. Because I don't know if she's a bad actor. I have not seen her act. So I'm not going to commentate on her act. As far as being a singer, everything I've heard is she is an excellent singer. Great, she is an excellent singer. No problem there. The problem that I and probably everyone else has is her bullshit activism that happened before the movie released. She tanked that movie almost single-handedly by the interviews that she gave. Or at least put it well behind the 8 ball. Or the evil queen, yeah. Well, no, she isn't. She also is a wicked stepmother, Leo. She is the evil queen, but she's also Snow White's stepmother because her Snow White's father married the who would become the evil queen. So she is her stepmother. So
story, you try to virtue signal at your potential customers, and then you alienate half of your main domestic market by saying over half the population doesn't deserve a moment of peace in their lives. And of course,
also true, Steve. Yeah, they did. But that's Disney's call.
Already a very
that was Disney's call, not Rachel Zegler's.
But here's what Pedro Pascal said that got him even more criticism.
Here we go.
About 2 weeks ago, he made this Instagram post with a picture of Zegler, tagging her and saying, #icon. Yep, that's a very brilliant move to make during the midst of the
icon of failure.
Colossal failure of this film and the terrible PR associated with it.
Wait. Buff? Are you being sarcastic or are you being genuine? I have to know. Because I'm getting revved up if you're saying that's genuine. I pray to God that you are being sarcastic right now by saying 170 million is a whole lot. Because bearing in mind, okay, you're being sarcastic. Okay, thank God. Thank God.
Mainly the negative PR stemming from Rachel Zegler. This is a great way to pivot into the Fantastic Four. You're dragging this into your next film. Brilliant move. And you can see she even replied to one of his other responses to her post saying, I love you forever, papa. Very interesting. But there was also some other lore I came across here that was very interesting. I did not know all of this happened. So as reported here, of course, Pedro Pascal stands with Rachel Zegler This is the guy who compared Trump supporters to Yahtzees and decided to come after content creators when they made videos about it, and Disney did nothing. Meanwhile,
Nope.
Gina Carano was fired. So what they're
Now, this is all right. So this is not a testament about Pedro Pascal or even Rachel Zegler. Say, doing these comparisons of Trump supporters to these guys. Okay, I am gonna say this. This is not a commentary about these two actors. This is a commentary on Disney being a shitty company and Disney basically operating off of political ideology as a company. So that's one thing that I do have to say, because like Gina Carano, Pedro Pascal, and Rachel Zegler do have freedom of speech. Okay? They can say whatever they want, including calling Trump supporters this. It is their right. They can do so. But Disney as a company, firing Gina Carano for making even less on the nose of a statement, but doing nothing about this, that is a testament to Disney as a company that operates off of political ideology. I know, Eric, I know. But that's the thing. People like this cannot work in... They can't work with the minutia of things. They have to basically just lump everything together. People like this do not have the mental capacity to be able to differentiate, and they have to conflate everything to be all one and the same. I don't fault them for that. They have low intelligence. It's sorry.
What they're referring to here is a post that was made by Pedro Pascal associating and comparing Trump supporters to Yahtzees. Yep, that's a very good idea for Pedro Pascal and his infinite activism. But this was called out by Geeks and Gamers. They just reported on this because obviously it's a big deal that someone like Pedro Pascal is saying something as disparaging as this and as divisive as this. And he decided to call them out and basically try to mock the way they pronounce his name as Pedro. Well, that's the way I'm pronouncing it, so whatever, dude.
Leo,
And then on top of that...
Leo, I don't know. I have never heard about anything about Disney himself being a PDF. I cannot recall ever hearing anything like that. I've heard that he could be an asshole, but I have not heard about anything PDF related. Like there have been accountings of him being very mean to his employees, being excessively demanding. That's kind of the most that I've heard regarding Disney, Walt Disney. Nothing, nothing in, like, there was that whole thing about, what was it, he had, I think he got the CIA to track his employees or something like that. Like, so he was, like, an asshole. And, yeah, I have heard also that he was racist as well. I have heard that. But I have not heard about him being a PDF. That is one thing I have never heard said about Disney. There's plenty of bad things that you could that have been said about Disney, and Disney, Disney was Disney, but that's something that I've never heard once.
There's no counter argument to anything. He's just mad and directing his fans towards Geeks and Gamers for having the audacity to report on a relevant topic to their channel.
Okay.
Yes, these are the good guys, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, if we're scaling down the cast here, there's only one left. The Thing, Ben Grimm. What do I have to say about this? Yeah, it looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Yeah, no controversies here so far. So 1 out of 4 ain't too bad. I also like how they went with the retro look on The Thing. It looks great.
Yeah, and I said that too. I said that the look of The Thing, when we saw the very first trailer, that's what I said. I liked the look. He looked a bit skinny in the face. The face did look a bit thin. I would have liked to have seen the face look a bit fuller. But I thought that the classic look of The Thing was good. I just wish that, that the face was a little bit fuller, and I wanted him to be taller. I thought he looked too. I definitely thought that he looked too short. But those were my complaints about the thing. That's it. The actor, the actor who's playing him, the voice, sounded fine. It's yeah, it's like this is one thing that they got mostly right. Yeah, you're talking about like Helio, you're talking about like how his cheeks seem a little too drawn in. They should be a little fuller to match the rest of his body. Like more I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for is. Yeah, he's supposed to be 6 feet tall in thing form. I think in recent comics they may have actually made him a little bit taller than 6 feet. I I don't know why, but I thought for sure, like especially when he's gone against the Hulk, because the Hulk is something like I think the Hulk is like 9 feet tall, and when the Thing has fought the Hulk, the Thing comes up to about the Hulk's chin, which would make him like 7 feet. I think. Because if I'm not mistaken, the Hulk is about 9 feet tall. He's meant to be 6 feet in comics. Okay, I thought that might have changed a bit, and he might have like gained some more height over the years as the comics have. Like in the OG, sure, I could see him being 6 feet because 6 feet was very tall back in the '60s. But I thought things had changed as the comics had grown throughout the years, and that they actually gave the Thing more height as the comics have continued throughout the years. I thought.
Great. Nothing else to say there. But overall, yeah, that was not needed for the Fantastic Four first steps. They are struggling mightily at Marvel. They are trying desperately to turn things around. And these approaches we're seeing, these attitudes of these actors, and how they're approaching their roles in this film, red flags everywhere. It tells us they are trying to appeal to the modern audience. They care about virtue signaling slop and other
Yep.
ideals that nobody cares about outside of Hollywood and Twitter. This is really, really bad.
And I will also add on to that Twitter users that will not be seeing the movie. That's what Disney is catering to Twitter users that will not see the movie and thus they will not spend money on the movie. Like whomever Disney is using for their demographics research needs to be fucking fired. They need to fucking fire whomever they have for demographics research. Because whoever they have doing that is literally just fucking scrolling Twitter all day and basing their decisions on what they see on fucking Twitter. Which is not what you're supposed to do, which is not what you want to do. So, I mean, catering to Twitter as a film studio is the worst fucking thing you can ever do. Ever. Hands down, no question. Twitter is your worst source of demographical information in the existence of history. They can't. Disney doesn't own the rights to Spawn, so they can't. So for now, anyway.
This doesn't look good. And before you think I want these films to tank, I wish this film would do really well. I hope it does because I enjoy Marvel. I'm not some, guy moderating subreddits with 100 Funko Pops behind me like saying, "Oh, consume Marvel." But I enjoy Marvel films and I want them to return
They won't
to
do
form.
Spawn. It's
They
too
don't
violent,
have to
Alex.
knock it out of the park. They don't have to have Machiavellian levels of writing.
No.
They have to just produce something that is solid, something entertaining, something that makes it a fun experience at the movie theater without being
White Deadpool. White fucking Deadpool. Deadpool was not a masterclass in writing. Deadpool was not Machiavelli writing. Deadpool was just violent as fuck and fun as hell. And look what happened. It fucking exploded monetarily. And thank you again, Mo.
lectured at without having to approach the MCU and basically turn every character into a strong, independent woman. This stuff is exhausting. People are tired of it. And now we have two
Yeah.
films that basically have to succeed. And one of them is Thunderbolts, which, by the way,
Well, that is
am
D
I in the
fucking
minority,
O
guys?
A.
I'm kind of excited for this one. This is, out of all the recent Marvel films, I think this one has my attention the most. And I like anything with Bucky in it.
What?
He's a great character. And yeah, I'm excited for Thunderbolts, but unfortunately, their box office projections are worse than Captain America Brave New
What?
World, which was a financial
Why?
disappointment.
Why? I'm curious why Rev would be excited for Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts just looks like they're rehashing fucking Guardians of the Galaxy again. They're throwing a team together that they all hate each other and they all have to work together in the end. Why are yeah, and it is basically Marvel Suicide Squad. That is it. That's exactly it. It doesn't look good, and I have a feeling they're gonna just totally screw over Bucky, which pisses me off because Bucky is Bucky is one of the most underutilized characters in the modern MCU. Bucky had the potential to do so fucking much. He was absolutely wasted in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Absolutely fucking wasted. They nerfed the ever-living fuck out of him. Okay, Bucky is literally another Captain America. He has the super soldier serum. He's got the bionic fucking arm. He is literally another version of Captain America. They have never done anything with him in regards to that. Never. They nerfed the fuck him. In Falcon and the Winter Soldier, he was like playing second tier to Sam Wilson. Like, they should have done a fucking spy thriller with Bucky and Natasha. Before they killed her off, they should have tried to do a spy thriller with the two of them. Like, in Russia. That would have been fucking awesome. Okay? Oh, is Spawn owned by DC now? Okay, I didn't realize that Spawn got bought by DC. Like, he is one of the most underutilized, interesting characters of Marvel, and they've just let him go to fucking waste. And yes, Colonel, everybody thinks that. Thank you, Ammo. Thank you again.
For Disney. So I don't know. Maybe they'll figure it out. Maybe this will surprise people. I hope Thunderbolts does. And then maybe Fantastic Four ends up being something really good. But right now, with what we saw in this video, things aren't looking great for them. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Alright. That wasn't quite as bad as I thought it would be. Although still mad that they're doing that shit. I thought it was gonna be going something I thought it was gonna be going a different way. I still don't have any hope for this, especially after the trailer we saw. Yeah, this is not gonna be good.